You know what's wild is the fact that after what 5 to 6 long years, we finally done hit 1K. Now this is a video that was supposed to have been done a while ago, but it was very hard to figure out the words necessarily that I want to put together for said video. I wrote script after script after script, and I just basically got to the point where everything just sounded too robotic, to where I was just like, you know what, we just gonna press record and basically go down the timeline of all the trials and tribulations and many f-ups that I went through in order to get to where I'm at now. Keep in mind, like I said before, the job's not finished, but we're gonna enjoy and take a moment to smell the flowers, because I've been wanting to hit this milestone for a while. Let's get on into it. So one of the first videos that I've ever, and I mean ever, uploaded was Battlefield. That's literally where this channel started from, was because I used to watch a whole lot of Battlefield Friends. This was back when I think, what, Rooster Teeth was it? It was either Rooster Teeth or Machinima, back when that was a thing. And I would just watch their videos and just laugh, and I was like, you know what, I want to make Battlefield content. Plus I was watching Level Cap and a couple other people like Matimio and so on and so forth. So it just got to a point where I was like, you know what, let me play some Battlefield. Not to mention the reason why I've started ever doing YouTube, and I said this multiple times. Shout out to my boy Jordan. We used to watch this series called Rage Quit or whatever. He would be dying laughing, and I thought it was utterly hilarious too. But he's like, yo, you can do that. He's like, you rage and cuss and scream all the times at games. Why don't you do it? To which I'm not gonna lie, I was like, bro, so you just think that I do nothing but rage game? I kind of felt a little bit of a way about that, but I mean, the man wasn't entirely wrong. Only problem was I didn't have a computer. I didn't have editing software. All I had at the time was an Xbox One and Battlefield. So I just said, screw it, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Did not mean for that to rhyme. So essentially what just happened was I would just record clips on my Xbox and put them together and use the editing software that they had and just upload directly to YouTube. Keep in mind, there was no like research on how to do tags, SEO. There was no crazy thumbnails. It was literally just me editing the stuff, putting it up, adding like little not hashtags, but like catchphrases in the upper right hand corner or something like that, with very sporadic and, I'm not gonna lie, to some degree, corny transitions. You can see some of the clips, or the clips that I have, and it's just bad, but that kind of shows you the progression from where we were to where we are now. And then to move on from that, we get to my first 100 view video, and it was a video of me just literally playing Gears of War, the Ultimate Edition. That's back when that thing dropped, and I was entitled it Gears of War Putting in Work. I had no creativity in my titles, descriptions, nothing. It was just, let me press record, because once I figured out that glitch of how to basically record longer videos, I was using that to my advantage. And we progressed through that, and I started recording Halo content as well as Gears content. And keep in mind, at the time of me even uploading this, talking about this, I was never good at Gears. Genuinely never good at Gears. This was a game that I was trash at. I just played the story mode. Whenever I did play online, I got rolled, but it was fun because it was a new experience. Because when you play COD all the time, it's kind of like, all right, and then when you play some Battlefield, you're like, I get it, but I play the objective on every game. But then when you get to Gears and you have to learn about wall banging, picking up the power weapons and shotguns and that whole thing, it's kind of a learning curve and a skill gap, and you kind of get addicted to it, to which I thoroughly enjoyed. And to my amazement, to my surprise, it was my first 100 view video. And this was back in, I think, 2016, 2015, somewhere in that region. My first 100 view video. Every other video that I was uploading at that time was getting like maybe 2 to 10 views. And I can literally guarantee you that 4 of those views was coming from my mom, my boy Jordan, and like 2 of the homies, and that was about it. It was literally getting no traction because I was putting no like real effort into it, because I didn't necessarily understand the effort that had to go into being a content creator. So with that, it was just one of those things where I was just like, I'll just keep uploading. You know, you just keep throwing stuff at the wall, eventually something will stick. At one point, I thought I was going to be a Gears of War content creator. Thank God I didn't make that choice, because I would probably not enjoy the series as much as I do now if that was the case. You want to talk about the biggest culture shock was how much rage videos at the time were getting so much traction and views. People just love to see people basically struggle and suffer and cuss and scream and lose their minds. And at the time, I was infamous for that. Keep in mind, have anger or I have anger issues, but had really bad anger issues. Anything would set me off. Now, not always to violence, but to basically screaming and raging and cussing. People enjoyed that type of content, to which I provided it inadvertently to them. Now, a game that did drop that I was addicted to playing was Need for Speed Most Wanted, the 2016 version or 2017, whenever it dropped. That basically like new iteration where it's always nighttime, to which I didn't notice until I started raging at the game. So I was playing the game, addicted, loved the story, was thinking about starting a walkthrough channel off of this, right? Very early on, I thought about doing that. But thankfully I didn't, because it didn't last long. Now, why didn't it last long, you might ask? Well, if you know, Need for Speed provided me two of my literal most popular videos, and they're both rage videos. The first one was me racing against Amy, to which I kept crashing over and over again, and my car was faster literally on paper, but her car just for whatever reason was able to catch up to me. It was that infamous stuff that us people who have played any type of racing game have went through, to where no matter how many times you upgrade your car, no matter what mods, you can have the best mods, for whatever reason the hoopties are able to catch up to you and beat you, and it is the most rage inducing thing ever. Keep in mind, I was playing this with a Nissan Skyline R34, kept losing, and I played it with the R35, and I would get close and then I would just somehow crash. I was hitting those infamous invisible walls that we are all too familiar with, to which it provided me with not one but two rage videos, because I put rage in the title one time, it got like 1,300 views pretty damn quickly, and then the next one gave my most popular video, which at the time to this day I think has like 16k or 18k views, which may not be a lot to in the grand scale of things, but it's still one of my more popular videos, to which it still gets comments to this day about people saying you should go play this game again, you should try it again, I'm not playing this game anymore, please stop commenting on it and go watch my other content. My other content is so much better than this, but I digress. This is one of those things that got my channel a little bit of traction. I think at the time of me uploading this, I only had about 10 or 15 subs, and this one video got me to about 40, like 30 to 40, and somewhere in that region. I think almost 50 off of this video. And of course, people were trying to tell me I was crazy, I didn't know what I was doing, you know, infamous online BS where you're always wrong, the game is always right, as if nobody ever struggles. It was one of those things, highly irritating, highly annoying, but didn't let the comments get to me, didn't get bothered. I was just like, hey, all press is good press, and the more people are commenting and looking at my video, the better, whether they like it or not. You came and you watched the video and you commented on it, so thank you for the view and the comment, which is only gonna boost me in the algorithm because I need it. Right, so that video, or those two videos alone, did numbers. And the craziest thing about those videos was the fact that this was back when I would upload 3 to 4 times in a day because of the software. So I would record one like 7 to 5 minute video, upload it, record like a 15-20 minute video, upload it. There was no rhyme or reason to what I was doing. I was just doing it to essentially do it, and to my surprise, it worked out to my benefit. I genuinely mean work out to my benefit, because it created one of the more iconic moments on my channel, with me screaming at the top of my lungs because my car was not turning the way I wanted it to which I basically glitched out my Xbox to where the game was minimized and whatnot. You're probably looking at it right now. I literally lost my whole mind, and that video, like I said, blew up. And then from there, it just became an overall theme of me just uploading me raging for like a few videos, so on and so forth, and the videos were just doing good, to which it was just like, do I go away from this? I don't want to be known for this, but if it's working, you know, why fix it? Which then leads me on to one of my next most popular games that I've uploaded, which is 2K18. They called me a madman. They're telling me I don't know how to play basketball. They told me I didn't understand basketball, as if I wasn't playing it all my life, and was breaking down games while playing them as to what was realistic, what was unrealistic, what would happen in a situation and what wouldn't happen. I had people in my comment section telling me, no, you don't know what you're talking about, da 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 da. Keep in mind, these are probably the same people who go to the gym and shoot around and say they went to go hoop. It wasn't hooping, you was just shooting around. Big difference, right? But 2K18 was literally the worst 2K ever released. Literally the worst. Every content creator that you will ever talk to has 2K18 as the worst 2K they've ever played. The microtransactions went through the roof, and add insult to injury, to add insult to injury, bro, the game wasn't even fully functional or working. So like if you were to walk to the park or whatever, the park would lag. There was frame cutting and what, not frame, or like frame drops, so on and so forth. If you try to go in with your squad disappear. You would go into one park, they go into another one. You had to play, they didn't have rec at the time, they just had pro-am, and even loading into a pro-am with your squad was a pain. There were just so many things fundamentally wrong with this game. And people called me a nutcase for calling it out, saying that I didn't know what I was talking about. But again, this is why I always tell people who are dumb and who can't read above a first grade reading level to think before it becomes illegal. Pretty simple. You tell somebody to think before it becomes illegal, then all of a sudden they get even more insulted because they're like, well, it's like their brain short circuits because they literally did not watch a full video nor watch to understand, did nothing. They just commented their feelings. So you didn't think, you just commented. So again, think before it becomes illegal because they're trying it. But I digress. This game, this video game right here literally drove me up a wall. I hated it. I called it out. You knew the game was bad because 2K put out a survey asking why did you stop playing our game, and Fortnite was on that list. So when it comes to just overall rage, I had just a string of rage games, like an overall string. It went from like Gears a little bit, then it went to NBA Live, it went to 2K and Need for Speed. I just had nothing but rage games, and they were getting me views. But it was one of those things where I didn't want to be known for that. But you have to do what you have to do. One of the biggest blessings that ever happened to me was actually getting in contact, you know, with the GMG squad or whatever, being on the podcast a couple times, so on and so forth. One thing that I always highlight, that I always shout him out for and thank him for, is my boy Ricky, because he gave me the chance to work for him back when he had his gaming website, 3MG Gaming. And I was one of the editors on there making all types of articles. At one point, I think I made like 7 articles in one night. But I was just constantly just finding gaming news, uploading it, writing articles, so on and so forth, leaving open-ended questions, figuring out SEO, like basically doing all that stuff just to be a part of something and help, because I seen the potential in what could happen with that, right? Thanks to that, and thanks to the work that was being put in, right, we actually were able to get press badges and whatnot to be able to go to PAX East. Keep in mind, I've never been to Boston, so to be able to go to Boston with the homie Ricky and meet the other homies, like I met Phantom for the first time, Shoot and Chef. I think I met the real J Skill out there, Hip Hop Gamer. I met a lot of dope people out there, but it was literally all thanks to the homie Ricky, because he basically was all like, hey, I'm doing this, I want to bring you on, you know, can you help me out? And I was like, man, fuck it, go, I'm with whatever, you feel me? So doing that actually helped me travel and go to different parties and rub shoulders with people who I've watched. It was just so much fun, and the damn blogs that came from it were hilarious and great, and I literally had a lot of fun. I mean, hell, I got to go to E3 the following year, or no, later that year, I think I got to go to E3, and I got to meet iPod, and actually at PAX East I met the GI squad. Like, there was just literally so much stuff. Like, it kind of felt like I was moving very rapidly. I don't want to say among the ranks, but like as far as like getting to know people, like, and just bump shoulders and get to talk, it felt like I was just doing it at such a fast pace, and I was just like, I don't know what to do, because like on one hand I'm all like, damn, I actually watched you two. I'm like, oh, I'm having a conversation with him. Oh, he's like trying to put me on game. And this was back before like 2K League is where it is now too, where they were like first like bringing it out and introducing it to people. Honestly, I can't thank Ricky and the GMG squad enough, because they actually helped me get my first 100 subs. Why? Because they put me on the podcast. I honestly do not remember how I did it. I think I sent the email, and in the email I said, yo, I'm not a weirdo, like I actually have my own thoughts and opinions, so on and so forth. And I think Chase DM'd Ricky and was all like, do you know him? And he's like, yeah, I know him, he's cool. And they brought me on, and I didn't have 100 subs at the time, so Chase was all like, so you don't have your own URL? Hey, yo, chat, get my man to 100 subs. And I got to 120 subs in that one podcast, which then gave me like a little bit of a platform, a little bit. So shout out to the homies for that. That will always go down in history as some greatness that I needed in my life. And because of all that stuff, it led me to doing something that I was calling a series called Gamer Struggles. Now, Gamer Struggles, I basically took the idea of Guy Code, if you're familiar with that show, and I implemented it to gamer stuff. So I was just like talking about people who have Cheeto hands, explaining to your parents that, you know, you can't pause an online game, microtransactions, the weirdos who make the, you know what I'm saying, the not safe for web content based off a video game character. Like I was doing all that stuff. And I eventually brought Biggie on to do a couple episodes with me. This was a series I was really passionate about doing. I've always talked about bringing back, but if I bring it back, I want to do it back. I want to bring it back correctly. Like I want it to be right. I don't want to just do it and not take it anywhere or promote it. Like, and I also have to like write down the ideas to get them right. Now, will it come back? Maybe, but if not, you can still go watch it because I still left the playlist live, so you can actually see where I was going with it. And I was recording a lot of these in my car, which was dangerous, but I was doing that because I was all like, you know, I'm on the way home from work. Let me go ahead and record some content real quick. I can go home, edit it real quick, da-da-da-da-da. And the series was actually doing pretty damn good. But yeah, I'm contemplating on bringing this one back. And on top of that, well, to further add on to everything, I ended up starting my own podcast called the Run Those Games Podcast. Now, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't, you know what I'm saying, checked it out on Spotify yet, I suggest go do that. But I started the Run Those Games Podcast with the homie Biggie. I was going to do it solo for a little bit. I was like, you know what, let me bring on, you know, one of the homies. Keep in mind at the time, Biggie, he's probably going to hate me for saying this, and it's going to come off weird, but he was, I guess, kind of a fan and nervous about doing this with me because I was on the GMG podcast, to which I'm just like, dog, I'm a regular person. I'm literally just normal as hell. And I was like, don't be nervous. Like, it's not like I have 1,000 people in here. I was like, at most gonna probably be like 20. To which it was about 40 or 50, but cool, whatever. I was like, it's just gonna be a couple people. He's gonna talk this game and stuff and sit here and kick it. I was like, here's like the videos I want you to watch these, give me your thoughts, here are the deals, whatever. And the podcast actually is pretty ghetto. Is still up because all it has is just my webcam in the middle and then his picture on one side. It has the topics on another, and then in the background I would always use a different collage or something. So I went like with 90s hip-hop, I went with gaming, I went with comic books, I went with candy. I just started doing that to then, you know, I just started making my own type of thumbnails and stuff like that. But this podcast actually does pretty damn well whenever I do decide to get the homies together to upload it. But it was something I was just passionate about because I just wanted to just talk games, give my own opinion and perspective. Because I've always been a firm believer in, you know, making your own platform and, you know, building your own tables. Like, yeah, it's nice to be invited on to do, you know, the homie stuff and to participate in whatever they got going on, but you don't want to be known as the leech or like the plus one. You want to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and be able to entertain, inform, and do whatever you want with whatever fan base and or crowd that you do procure through this shit. So I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and make my own podcast. I could promote it, you know, tell people what's up. I could do whatever I want because it's my platform. That's the best thing about having your own platform. Even if it doesn't get to crazy heights, at least you have your own platform that you could talk about that is yours, that you own. Like, when I think about it, it's like, dog, I have my own podcast. Like, this podcast is mine. Like, I'm a producer. That's the thing. I'm a producer of a podcast. Now, this did snowball into me creating my own solo podcast a few years later called Thoroughbred Talks. Now, Thoroughbred Talks was purely, and I mean purely a podcast that I just made just talk about like whatever stuff I was going through in real life and so on and so forth. The first episode is very ghetto because I have Wallpaper Engine running in the background. My camera's zoomed in all the way to my face to where you can't really see my chin because I keep bobbing my head downwards like how I normally do when I'm talking because I'm very animated when I speak. It was very ghetto. Not to mention, I forgot to mute. I think I had Ethos stream or somebody's stream open in the background while recording, and I didn't mute it. So you could actually faintly hear like Ethos talking in the background while I'm recording said podcast. I mean, it was even such as me recording a podcast before I went bowling because I'm in a bowling league. So I would record a podcast before bowling, and if I feel like I had something else to say, I would record another episode after bowling. And did I upload those podcasts on separate dates to give it time to marinate a little bit? Nope. I uploaded them the same time, the same day. It wasn't my smartest choice. It wasn't the best choice, but this is the stuff that you kind of go through when it comes to creating your own stuff. You kind of got to figure out what you want to do. You got to go through all the bumps, the trips, the falls. You got to go through something to get to something. And the stuff that I was going through was very ghetto. Very ghetto and very bad and very low quality that could have been done better. But for whatever reason, a lot of people were still rocking with me and would keep coming back to watch my content. So I guess it worked out. So like the basic premise, or not premise, but the basic thing that you should like get from all this is the fact that I'm never taking shit for granted, and I can never take things for granted. From every sub that I get, alive and dead, and I don't mean dead as in literal, but I mean like dead in the fact that they don't even really pay attention to what I'm doing now, right? But I appreciate every sub, dog, because 1,000's a lot of people. Like, I want you to put into perspective that you probably can't fit 1,000 people in your house. Think about it. 1,000 motherfuckers click subscribe. You really got to put certain things to perspective. Like, you don't need to basically compare yourself to other people, because comparison will steal your joy, and then you're going to basically be in your head the whole time like, I could be doing more, da da da. And now, to a degree, can you be doing more? Yes, but you need to sometimes just sit back and be like, damn, I did that and I'm still doing it. Because if it wasn't for me putting out my first couple videos, if it wasn't for me reaching out to Ricky, I would have never got to be on a GMG podcast, which I didn't think I would do, which was mind-boggling. I was literally smiling from ear to ear when I got the text saying that I was going to be on the pod. I would have never started my own podcast, to which I had people checking out and, you know, listening to, and even to some degree, like coming back and checking up to see if I was doing that. And I'd have never been on the GI podcast. This was a podcast I was listening to way before I even thought about being a content creator. I think I was still I think I was like a senior in high school. I was like a junior or senior, somewhere in there, or I was like a freshman in college, just basically somewhere young, to where I was listening to these dudes. I was like, damn, I would want to be on that platform and like just talk games. And I got to do it. And from there, and from shortly there on, bro, like the name starts growing. People recognize me in streams, and now we're at 1,000 subs. Now, the next chapter is to get to, you know, that 5K, to then that 10, to then that 20, to eventually that 100. The job is not finished at all. But to go from a crude video that I recorded via my Xbox to now where I have a strong PC to where I can record all my videos and content, to where I could do my voiceovers the way I do now, or my commentary, not my voiceovers. Keep down the DL, you know what I'm saying, coming soon. But to where I could do, you know, my commentaries, and I can multi-stream. I could do basically all this stuff now, to where my videos now look better like this.
I know you have questions, Guardian.
It sounds like you started recording.
Didn't record shit.
Last time, right?
Let's find Tik-Tok.
Exact same spot.
Because I literally was taking bullets for you last time. This time I went first and took all the bullets while trying to do the objective.
So either way, I ain't taking no bullets, is what you're saying. Into the booty
That'd be a great
hole.
plan. If there were any powered crystals in here. I take it back.
Legend has it, this is
Together,
what happened
we're gonna
after
end.
Pastor Wilson licked it from the front.
Good. Ah. Oh, stalker. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no. What the fuck with that?
Oh, Kenny! Huh? What the fuck did you do to kill me?
Dog, the journey has been tedious at that. And I didn't have necessarily the backup or support that I would have ideally wanted at the time. But I didn't stop. I just kept going. And now it's paying off. And again, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm damn sure where I would have loved to be a couple years ago. But this was a very long-winded video, but hey man, I'm gonna drop a funny moments, you know, the journey to 1,000 subscriber video where I just have like little highlights, funny moments. I'm eventually gonna drop that for y'all, but I just figured I'd give you something a little bit different, I guess a little bit more personal, because I don't want y'all to think for 1 second I've taken this shit for granted, dog, because I've got to meet some people that I've literally watched and wanted to like hang around with, that I could do that shit now, and I'm in close contact with them. I'm now at a point, you know, to where I occasionally get some sponsorships and whatnot. And bro, I got people who genuinely support me now. So You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing. I wish I could say I could be happier, but I honestly can't. The only way I could probably ever thoroughly be happier would be to like hit 100,000 like in like the next 2 months. And Lord knows if that happened, I probably wouldn't know how to act. But with that being said, folks, that's all your boy got for today. Make sure you hit that like button, you comment, and subscribe because the job's not finished. It's your boy Weasel, and I'm gone. Bye.